Gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're joining you guys a little bit early right here on YouTube Live, like we normally do. Our featured guest, Karen Fisher, will be joining us around 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time right here on YouTube Live. And what we're doing real quick is we're kind of getting into our beer of the week, and we're looking it up because I went out today and I bought the newest featured beer, which is called Chimay. And we're trying to figure out the background on it, like the whole, what's going on with this beer and all that bullshit. And it has a couple of cool descriptions. I love the descriptions. And mind you, this is a 4-pack. It's not like it's a fucking 12-pack or anything like that. I paid $27 for 4 of these fucking bottles.
This better be good. Well, what I'm saying and what I have read is they're made by Trappist monks.
So pretty much monks that use trapper keepers. That's what you're saying.
I'm not sure, but the thing that comes to mind when people talk about Trappists, I think about drug dealers in their trap houses. Some concoctions.
I think a Trappist, when you say Trappist, it's like you're either the trappee or the Trappist. Like you're either being trapped or you're the one trapping. Most people will probably say trapper, but when I hear Trappist, it's kind of like on the lines of rapist. He's a Trappist.
Well, I like my version better, but okay. But so it turns out that these monks, they go to their little abbey.
Their little abbey. What
we discussed before the show.
Yes.
What an abbey was.
Yeah, and you said abbey because as soon as I heard abbey, I'm like, that's totally British, because Abbey Road, all that. And you're like, no, sorry, that's not the case.
Not in the UK. I'm just saying that an abbey typically means
it wants to be
like a monastery type place where people congregate, like a community congregates. And I don't know, I guess they practice their own bullshit. In this case, it's beer
type stuff.
Did you want
actually let me see the box, because the box has a little description on it too. It says on the box, because all of you guys know I highly appreciate a beer. Of course, Chimay, go out. This is the little 4-pack box that you want to look at for this. Very expensive.
Right. Because if they're monks, maybe it's cheap.
Chimay. It might be Chimay. Oh yeah, but no, this is the box you're going to look for it. And it has 2 descriptions, actually, one on the box, one on the bottle, and they kind of cross. So it says, we're going to say Chimay. Okay. Chimay Grande Reserve is a strong dark brown ale with fruity and spicy aromas. It unfolds fresh chocolate flavor. It unfolds the fresh chocolate flavors with a beautiful persistency. Its balance makes it exceptional ale whose flavor improves over the years. So do we have to put this in the cabinet for 16 years?
I think they've already. This is already aged.
Okay, so
it's aged.
So this has been
bottled. And
okay.
I don't know how.
So here's what it is. They aged it there, and then it's probably sat in the fridge at the liquor store here in Essex.
1862.
I'm
sure that's not true.
Look, and that's the thing. The way that they did labels and the logo work in 1862 is amazing. It's just completely amazing.
Those monks, when they're isolated, they're just ahead of their time.
It improves over the years. It's called Grande Reserve for the incredible aging potential. The Grande Reserve was first launched in 1954 as a Christmas ale. Okay, so it came out as a Christmas ale. And then today it is the standard bearer of the Chimay range. And I said Chimay, and Chimay all while reading this. So it totally shows how much of an idiot I am. And yes, I will take one. And we're going to go ahead and pop these open right here on the pre-show for the Happy Hour podcast. And we're going to go ahead. I'm going to use this little guy right here, and we're going to get ourselves some of this and see exactly how this tastes. It actually popped pretty good. So here we go. Oh, God.
It's a short,
it's a short neck there. It has a little neck right here, a short little neck. It almost dropped. So here we go. Here's to you. And let's see how.
Oh, it's savory. Oh.
That tastes like $24. That's really good.
It's not bad.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And
those monks know what they're doing.
Oh, here you go. Chimay, Belgium. That's where it's made. Chimay, Belgium. So
Chimay.
Now the bottle has a great little thing on it. It says Chimay Grande Reserve is a strong dark brown beer with hints of fruit, chocolate, and spices, whose flavor gets better and better with time. The Trappist logo certifies that the ale is brewed in a Trappist abbey, that the majority of sales income is intended for social aid. The exceptional yeast isolated by Father Theodore. Father Theodore. So Father, shout out to Father Theodore. He's probably
he knows his yeast.
Yes, he is. Yes, he knows his yeast. He can sit there and he can look at a woman and go, yeast infection. He knows his yeast. By Father Theodore, combined with the purity of the highly protected water of the Abbey's wells. Okay, so they're using this with dead girl well water. So pretty much like the little girl who fell in the well and died, she's aged while she's been in that well, and that's how they get the agedness from this.
Thanks. Thanks for that. Now I have this dark image in my head of
and it says it gives Chimay its unique richness. Since 1862, Chimay's secondary fermented ales have neither been pasteurized nor filtered, and only natural ingredients are used. Beer fermented in the bottle contains barley and wheat. So since it hasn't been filtered, that means we are probably very well drinking Monk.
We're drinking dead girl juice right now.
We were drinking. Actually, I'm not sure if it's as much of drinking that. I think a monk fell in a well and they pulled him out of the well. They chopped him up and they put him in the Chimay. And that's, but no, honestly, shout out to Chimay. Excellent brew here. I'm glad, it may be partially inflation, it may be partially that this is such a fermented, glorious monk-filled beer that Father Theodore should definitely be proud of, and I'm sure his brothers Alvin and Simon are probably just as fucking proud. But you my
friend, know your yeast.
Yes. He's just sits there, he's like, Alvin, Theodore, do you know your yeast? I know my yeast. Come here. I'm going to show you some yeast. And they're like, Father, what are you doing? Meanwhile, this is what year was it? It said 1862. Yeah. So Father Theodore pulls out this device from like the future, and it's a laptop. And he's like, come here, and I'm going to show you some yeast. And they come over, they're like, oh my God, Father, what's that? Like, what's all that on the screen? And then the next thing he types into Google, the 1862 version of Google on his turn of the century machine, yeast infection. And he just shows him, and he's like, that there, that's the yeast. No. This is the yeast that we are going to use to brew our Chimay.
Well, if it's made from pussy, then it's got to be good.
Oh, man.
But no, it is exceptional.
Yeah. And
take that.
What I'm going to do real quick is every so often just makes me watch, TikToks. And a lot of them, I'm kind of like, but some of them I like very, very much. And there's one that I'm going to play momentarily once this decides it wants to react with me. And let me see if I can find it right here. Advanced video. So I'm going to go ahead and play a video. And pretty much what it is I can't remember. What the hell is the band? But you ever seen one of those screaming chickens that people have? They squeeze it and it screams.
I had.
Well, it's pretty much
like Moana, right?
Yeah. It's not. It's not that chicken. It's like a screaming chicken that pretty much. You'll see when I show you the video. So let me just go ahead and click into this, and I'm thinking it's this first video.
I hope right so. We don't see one of your homemade videos. you know what I'm talking about.
If not, it's another video that I'm going to get into, and that'll just be the one that I play first. So, here. Okay, so this is it right here. So this is the video. So let me just go ahead for those of you watching at home. Let me put. Like my thing is the whole video. What you're like, as if there's what's about to happen. And like just showed me this video. The anticipation is unreal. And that just now let's kill it. the chicken hitting the and yeah, so that's some of the stupid shit that amuses me. Like, and I mean that's the thing.
No, that's pretty hilarious.
Someone had one of those chickens and shit. They took that chicken and they put it in like a bowl or something, and like it echoed so bad that like it was just completely insane. Like the echo that thing fucking gave off. Like
right. I saw one similar like that. Somebody was like running it under their sink, and they're like, "Tell me where the rebel base is." And it was pretty funny. It's like they were waterboarding the chicken, and it's kind of
I did see. You saw that one?
That's fucking hilarious.
And like that's the thing. Like I wanted to shit. We just signed our dog up for Bark Box, and like she got a Bark Box, and there was a toy that was in that screamed like that. And I'm telling you, every time she squeezed that thing and it let out that scream, you could just see the anger build in her little dog body.
Right. Bark Box, man. Like we have Bark Box too, and I know a few other people that have Bark Box.
Some people do Chewy. Chewy also. Chewy's another one.
They're doing their thing though. Bark Box. Like, we've actually had Bark Box for like a year.
Yeah, yeah.
And
it was too. When we had both dogs, it would have been too much. But our one dog passed away not about a month and a half ago, and so she's been super sad. So we've been trying to keep her, she's kind of coming a little bit back to herself. So we were like, well, let's sign her up for Bark Box and give her a bunch of stuff to just completely wreck. And
like they've got toys and treats in it, right?
Yeah, toys and treats. I mean, that helps out because we don't have to buy treats anymore. But oh man, dude, like that, and it's cool because my wife liked it because shout out the Bark Box. They do all kinds of themes. Like they do like a Star Wars theme box.
Yes.
The one that we got was all like different kinds of ice cream. Like they had like an ice cream sandwich. They got and so like they do all kinds of different themes, which is really fucking cool. And we discovered it because Bark Box actually sells their toys in Target. And we were in Target and it was Bark Box brand toys. And we were like, oh, okay, these are cool. And that's what convinced Jess to look that stuff up. And she's like, oh, okay, hey, this is actually pretty fucking cool. So
it is cool. My dogs literally have a pile of toys from Bark Box.
Well, because my dog has a pile of skin. Like, because what she does is she rips the squeaker out of it. And then once the squeaker's out of it, she then has to pull out all the stuffing. And after the stuffing, there's just a skin. And that's it. And she, she can't part with the skin, but she goes through her toys so quick. I'm like, Bark Box, okay, she can be through a whole box of these toys before, another one comes. She get, if we gave them to her every single day, she'd fucking be through it in like 2 days or some shit because she just passionately hates toys.
Yeah, my one dog does the same thing, just fucking eats them.
Just completely destroyed. And actually, speaking of which, the video I just played, there's another video that I want to show. Of course, Jurassic Park, the new Jurassic Park just started in theaters. And I do want to see that because that new Jurassic Park actually has Jeff Goldblum, all the original cast and all that come back. Yeah. And, there's another video that I came across that Jess showed me. And I think for one of your kids' birthday parties, you should do this. And I don't care. I'll totally be down to dress up like this. But it's just something that just goes completely ass up in the air wrong. And I think I'm not sure if this is the reaction they had or if this is actually how it happened. But these kids are just so wrecked.
They are terrible.
Like that little girl right there. She's like, oh my God. Could you imagine being trapped in a moon bounce with a raptor just trying to put its head in to tear you apart?
He kept it going too. He was like, part of me feels like he really was enjoying terrorizing his kids.
That raptor stayed in gimmick so good that but
he sold the shit out of that.
And of course, you guys may see in the background, of course, I'm wearing our Happy Hour podcast, our original Pride t-shirt, which came out in 2019/2020. Make sure you go and buy it at www.thehhpod.com in the pod shop. And we have them in every color, every size. We have them in hoodies, we have them in glasses, we have whatever it is you may want. Of course, it is Pride Month right here, the month of June. And we always shout out to our LGBTQ friends right here on the Happy Hour podcast. So, well, okay, I'm sorry. Plus, the plus is right on here. Okay, well, it has all the different ones.
I'm not like super like I don't understand too much of just for whatever reason. I have nothing obviously against any of that the community, but I am interested what the plus stands for. But so if anybody wants to comment, let me know what the plus is.
Plus means
you can call me an ignorant asshole if you want, but now
anything can be added. Anything can be added. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Is that there's a plus, because if there's a minus, something can be subtracted. At least that's me just being my dumb white person self.
Well, I was about to say, man,
yeah. But no, make sure you go out, pick up one of the shirts. We appreciate all the support. Of course, we sold a couple of things in the shop over the last 2 weeks, which appreciate. Somebody picked up one of the military t-shirts we had, and of course our good friend Matt Fisher, he bought one of the canvas prints of the Happy Hour Pod Rumble. Of course, I can't sit there and thank everybody enough for everything, and everybody that took part in the HH Pod Rumble. It's just completely amazing the way that worked. Of course, Johnny Goodluck was the winner of that whole entire thing. And what I'm going to do real quick is, speaking of the HH Pod Rumble, the winner of the HH Pod Rumble, Johnny Goodluck, actually is going to get a championship belt, and it's in the process of being made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a little bit of a preview of what that championship belt is going to look like. It's going to be sent directly to Johnny Goodluck. So once I get this ready and get ready to pull it up here, you guys are going to see exactly what that's going to look like. Well, it's not the finished product. It still has some work to be done, but the etching and the gold work has been done on it. But no, this is it right here. So it's actually turning out pretty good.
Nice.
There's still some stuff that needs to be done. Of course, the Happy Hour podcast, that'll have the color scheme of the regular logo, and it'll be put on a regular wrestling strap, and it'll be sent to Johnny Goodluck. And, of course, Johnny Goodluck's on there, and that's going to be in green. So, a customized title for Johnny Goodluck, for being the winner of the HH Pod Rumble. So make sure you go check out the HH Pod Rumble. It's right here on YouTube. It's episode 100. If you have a hard time finding it, just go over to our website, go to episodes and guests, and scroll down to where you see episode 100, the HH Pod, and it is right there. Of course, shout out to all of our fans. And I will apologize, is that I've been a little bit slow on the audio version of the show. The audio like the video version is completely taken over the show, so I haven't really, I've been doing so much for the video version, I haven't dedicated a lot of time. But episodes 102, 103, and 104 will be released hopefully next week for all of you who listen to us on audio platforms. I'm just sorry, a lot of stuff has come up, but you guys will get a big bulk drop of episodes. And what we're doing now,
that's just the only way to do it, baby. Drop it all in bulk.
Just the one big load just dropped at one time.
One big fucking load.
Just huge, gigantic load. And pretty much what it's going to be is we're also doing them in their entirety. So everything that you see here, the pre-show, all that, it's all now included on the audio versions. I'm just dropping them straight in. We're doing it in its purest form. So everybody's getting everything, whether you follow us here on YouTube, watch us here live on YouTube, or whether you listen to us at home, you're getting the episode through its entirety. And of course, you can't see the videos or see any of the other little things or the games that we play if you listen at home. They're still fun to deal with and still fun to listen to, but you do not get the full experience unless you actually tune in right here on YouTube live.
Just know that if you are listening, you are listening to the most sexy man alive.
Matt always likes to put himself up whenever
whenever I get the opportunity. I try to put myself over as much as possible.
Whatever you need to do. And of course, in about 10 minutes or whatever, we're going to be joined by our featured guest, Karen Fisher. Of course, Karen Fisher, it's her second time on the show. We've had a lot.
Right, yes.
We've had a lot of dual guests in the past. Of course, Bob Starr, he's been on the show a couple of times. Chad Austin, Bubba, Vince Painter, so she's joining the list of those guys. But Karen, she was one of the very, very early guests we had. It's been about 2 years since the last time we talked to Karen.
Really?
And really the show has advanced on so much more. And I'm going to thank her herself, because all of her content has went into the stratosphere on YouTube. So it's still, this day, that original episode is still some of the most viewed content we have on our YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
So that's great within itself.
We've been doing a show. We've been taking off. We've been doing our thing.
The games are a little bit different. The content's a little bit different. We talk about a little bit different of stuff.
Within a 2-year period, I wonder, like, since we're taking off, I wonder how much cock she has had since then. She was already experienced then. I mean, how much more experience does she need? Right?
There's a scene that I want to ask her about that I saw, and it was a scene, and she was the stepmom, and the son was having a hard time learning, and she was making food or something, and she was wearing a skirt, and the son just comes up and he just starts fucking her, and he's fucking her like in front of the dad. And then the scene went on, obviously, I'm doing my thing while the scene's on, but the scene at one point, she ends up fucking both the son and the dad while they're throwing a football back and forth in the backyard. So it was like father-son bonding over time. Fucking the stepmom, so yeah. And I mean, that's one of the, and actually I think one of the photos on the graphic that we have for tonight was what she was actually wearing in that scene, which Erica, shout out to Erica Icon from the Rub PR. She gets us hooked up with a lot of our guests. She got us hooked up with Karen Fisher. So shout out for that. We're going to try to actually reach out to some of our earlier guests, see if we can get them back on the show, get caught up with them and see what they've been up to over the last 2 years. So, look out for that. Of course, we got a lot of stuff coming up. Of course, this is the season 2 finale. So this concludes our second straight year of doing the podcast right here, in this basement and wherever else we've done at the EWA Pain Factory, Jimmy's Famous Seafood, and of course, all of our, fun guests. And we're also about to break the 150,000 total download mark on YouTube. So, thank you for that. And for that, I'm going to do a very special graphic for that, have a graphic made up, as a thank you for, 150. And hopefully that number keeps on going up. Of course, numbers have been going up, a lot lately. So, thank you. Thank you to everybody out there.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Of course, Natasha Nice, her episode performed extremely well. We're still getting about 300 and some views a day on that, which, I wish the number could be higher on that, but hey, numbers are numbers, it could be nothing at all. And,
what we could do, we could even ask our fans if there's anybody that they're interested in us trying to talk to. You could just send us in like a request, or you comment on the page or Twitter, all that stuff. Now, of course, we're not going to get somebody crazy like Matthew McConaughey or The Rock.
That's the thing. I will sit there and there's it's Pedro Felipe. If you remember Pedro Felipe, he joined us for Sarah J.
Okay.
Because I remember we did that joke where Felipe said he met Sarah J, and we made the joke where and I think the actual title, that shout out Felipe, thank you for joining us live right here on YouTube Live. That the title of that episode is Felipe the Night Stalker from Brazil, because he was macking on Sarah J hard, and I'm like Felipe was the one who stalked you at that mall. I know it was Felipe.
What's funny is, and I guarantee you, I've never met Felipe. I'm not going to claim I know him, but I do remember Karen Fisher saying that her and Sarah J are not friends, and they actually hang out outside of their,
them, and also Jocelyn Jade as well, which she brought up.
That's right.
Just recently. So shout out to Pedro. Pedro, thank you. He said hello, good evening from Brazil. So thank you for joining us from Brazil. Of course, the Happy Hour podcast worldwide, right here on YouTube and YouTube Live worldwide.
I can't do it. I don't even know what the worldwide stuff is.
I don't.
Just stop that, you.
But no, I mean there's a lot of stuff coming up. Of course, next week is our season premiere of season 3, which starts our 3rd year. So that's going to be insane, knowing the fact that we're going into our 3rd year. Already have our guests booked up to about August, which so there's a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to try our best, just keep on things rolling through. And of course, next week, Kim Greer, author, she will be joining us. She will be our guest next week right here on the show. So she's gonna probably come onto the show and then probably never write a novel ever again after talking to us. So, but no, I mean it seems kind of fun,
bad.
And of course, I gotta always, and of course, I can never thank the people who help us enough. Of course, I shout out Erica Icon. Of course, shout out the Derek over at curtainjerkerdesigns.com. He does all of our weekly graphics. He does an amazing job. If you need anything done graphic wise in the wrestling world or anything in general, he does a great job. Any of our guest episodes are done by him. Also, Steve Freeman, amazing artist. He can do anything you need him to do. He made our amazing Return to the Living Dead Halloween poster, our current logo that we have, and various other logos that he's done for us recently. And, he does all kinds of book covers. So if you're an author or anybody out there, you need any kind of artwork done from scratch, reach out to us. We'll get you in contact with Steve Freeman. He can definitely do it. So,
he does great work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, but, and I mean, kind of taking a little bit of a pullback, like on shirts and all that. We were releasing shirts there for a while, but we're kind of letting the shirts that we have marinate online, and also they're not selling. So please buy some merchandise, because please. Gas is very, very expensive and inflation is very high, and your boys are broke. That's just the way it is. Like this right here, this isn't a house. This is just a goat shed out in my backyard. This is we're like, there's a bunch of goats on the other side of this just waiting to come in here and trample us to death, because money's tight and we need it. So I had to wrestle this out of a goat's mouth as we were coming on, because it grabbed onto it and it was like, hey, come here, let me have that shirt. So, but no, I mean, dude, like we got a lot in store tonight. Of course, our drunken ramblings, we got like 4 stories from our drunken ramblings tonight. So, that's going to be fun. And hopefully Karen Fisher, she'll be here momentarily, and we will rock and roll with her. Of course, Karen, she's been traveling a little bit lately. Of course, she's been to Greece, she's been to Italy. Wow.
Yeah, so, I think they recently we didn't get flagged for COVID, but the COVID restrictions I'm hearing are being lifted internationally.
Yeah,
so they're not going to have as much I guess what you call roadblocks. I mean, however you feel. If you think that's a safety net roadblock, I don't care. It's whatever your opinion is.
Yeah.
But so supposedly that's lifting. So I'm expecting a lot of things to like really open up as far as travel goes.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that we've been doing it this long, but
well, I mean, that's the thing. Like we have ourselves right here, our very own little COVID baby. This started, it initially, when we were initially talking about it, it was the whole thing of, we had the idea that we were going to do it. And then I remember I messaged you just one day and I was like, fuck it, let's just do it. Yeah. June of 2020. I was like, fuck it, let's just do it. And, you came over here and, we did it. And the first episode was us and, the war pigs. And, that was fun doing over the crazy stories. And actually, speaking of the war pigs, I tried to get Blood here tonight. Blood is actually in town from South Carolina. Oh. He's visiting family. He's with his wife and his kids. So I told him, I was like, hey, you should try to come over. He's invited me out to the bar a couple of times, but it was like 10 o'clock and I've been broke all week. And that's Blood for you. Yeah. But
10 o'clock in the morning or
no, 10 at night. So 10
I was about to say like that. It sounds like Blood at like 10 o'clock. Like, hey, bro, you want to get a bar?
Yeah. But
it's 10 o'clock. You understand? Like I'm in my 40s now. I don't like do that. I revealed our ages. Sorry.
Yes. I also.
It's like a superhero type thing that I'm not allowed to talk
remember,
about.
Like the stuff that we liked as kids are now like from the 1960s. These youngins now, like that's insane and creepy and terrifying. Like, stop it. We're not that old. And also, you little fuckers keep on going back to all the things we liked. All the things, like as I said before, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s were the best eras to be alive ever, because you got everything. You got the internet, you got the best cartoons, you get the best eras of wrestling, you got the best eras of music. It all happened.
Dude,
best TV shows, movies, it all happened in our era.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but like I was thinking about the Attitude earlier today, just out of random, and I was just like, oh my god,
the Attitude.
God, it literally was like the best era of wrestling. Because I watch it now.
It definitely was.
And I can get into it. I like some of it, but like Attitude is just so way different, man. That's like a different animal. I'm like, Jesus, man. Really like watched and grew up like during a really good time. And of course, older people will say the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And the new generation that's come up now is like, we live for the best shit.
Well, that's the thing. Like everybody loved the Attitude Era so much, but you can never do the Attitude Era today. Like people get way too offended, way too easy.
I just want to go back because the new generation will be like, yeah, we had COVID and political turmoil.
Well, you remember,
it's like, oh Jesus Christ!
You remember Billy Gunn, right, Mr. Ass?
I did. I saw
in AEW. He's in AEW now, and his sons wrestle, and they're called the Ass Boys. They call them the Ass Boys. Yes, yes. Dan Huss and yes, they're called the Ass Boys. Yeah, Billy Ass and the Ass Boys because he does yes. Like that sounds like a title to one of our episodes, Billy Ass and the Ass Boys.
Right.
Yeah.
Starring Karen Fisher. Billy Ass and the Ass Boys. Like, come on. Like, look, respect Billy Gunn. I like him. With him and Road Dogg back in the day, man.
Yeah.
During that was my shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I love them all. Degeneration X. But even them just standalone, the New Age Outlaws. The shit, man. just in my opinion, the shit. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, without question.
But the Ass Boys.
Yeah.
You went from the Road Dogg Jesse James to the. How are you going to pitch that to your sons? So, look.
No,
this is the gimmick here, boys.
Here's the thing, though. He's known as Mr. Ass, so it makes sense that they're the
no.
Ass
I know.
Boys,
I like it,
but that'll sell. That'll sell. No one gives a shit about Billy Gunn and Colton Gunn, and no, they want the Ass Boys and with the Ass Man because Billy Gunn was the Ass Man. So they are the Ass Boys.
Yeah, I love.
And that's the thing. They should bring back the
song.
Well, they're the Ass Boys. Dun, dun. Yeah. They're the Ass Boys.
I mean, it is Pride Month, so you never know.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I kind of hope, like, with the Ass Boys, like, I really want that. Like, you remember Billy Gunn? Him and Chuck had Billy and Chuck. If you remember that.
Okay.
Like, they need to do something like that with the Ass Boys, which would be hilarious. Like, not them obviously teaming together, as gays, but because they're brothers. I mean, weirder things have happened.
Hey,
but
look, maybe that's what that plus stands for, Ray. Don't be so quick to judge.
Plus is incest.
No, I'm kidding. That's
plus incest.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there.
That's what it is.
I'm not taking that one, guys. I'm not going to do it.
And our guest Karen Fisher, she's getting ready to come in. Yeah, you're going to be the bigger man. You're going to be the non-ass boy.
Non-ass boy.
Yeah. You're going to ass boy your way out of here. Like that's. Oh, Jesus H. Christ in heaven. What have we done? What have we created?
Look, hey, it's all love, man. All love for me. I really don't care.
Felipe the Night Stalker is like, I've stayed up late in Brazil to hear this shit about the Ass Boys. Meanwhile, there is no Karen Fisher. Like he's just sitting there, just slowly sharpening. He's slowly sharpening his knife, like as he's watching this, because he just wants to skin somebody, and that's just And we're here. It's in here. And again, she's trying to get into the room. So having a little bit of difficulty, but hopefully she will be in pretty soon. It says that, here we go. Oh, that might be it right there. So we might be joined by Karen Fisher momentarily. So, but no, like that's the thing. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, and I love it. Like when we're live and we have someone go, oh, I'm coming from Germany, or oh, I'm coming from Brazil. And it's just kind of like, oh man, like, this is insane. Like
I stayed up late to hear about ass.
Yes,
man.
Yeah. I stayed up late. Hey, talking. You're talking about ass boys here. But oh man. So but oh man. No, like dude, some of the shit that we've gotten into on the show. Hey, there she is.
Okay. Hi.
How are you? How you doing? It's been a while. It's been 2 years since you've been on the show. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry about that. This is my first time doing this on my phone. I don't have my laptop. I'm traveling, like visiting family, and I don't have my laptop. And I don't know, it was a little tricky.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And of course, you've been doing a lot of traveling recently. Of course, you've been to Greece, I think Italy. You've been to Italy, all those places.
Yeah.
How were those trips? Like, I've unfortunately I've never had a chance to go to any of those places, but I'm pretty sure that probably the most beautiful sceneries you've probably ever seen in your life.
I've never been to Europe. I suck.
Yeah, it was great. And I had been actually to Athens and Santorini. Those are like two areas in Greece in the summer, and I was like brutal. But this time, I think because like, you know, we didn't go in the summer, it was nice. Like it was warm, but like not so hot. You just want to like stay in the hotel room or sit by the pool, you know?
So yeah, and I mean, with one of those places, of course, Ireland, you know, Greece, Italy, and all that. Like, how is it like when you go? Are you normally with family? Do you travel on your own, or you know, do you travel with friends?
I've gone with like family before. This time was actually just a friend's trip with I went with like Sarah J and like a few other like videographers that you probably like might not know who they are, but yeah, it was just like with friends this time. It was really fun.
Now, in your travels, where do you honestly think, out of all the places you've been to, have the best looking people, male, female? What part of the country do you think has the best looking people?
I don't know. That's like so hard to say. You know, in my mind, like when I was in Italy, I thought I'd be seeing like all these like super hot people.
Pauly D,
and I'm sure there are people like that, but I just like didn't see that. Yeah. I didn't see any of them. Not to say, you know, they were ugly or not to insult the Italian people, but it just, I just built it up into my mind like too much. Like kind of same with Greece. I don't know. Maybe I would say like, God, I mean, people are going to be mad at me, but I would say, honestly, I think there's a lot of good looking people in the US. I mean, depending where you live, right? You know what I mean? Like I live in the Southern California area. There's a lot of good looking people there.
Yeah. And
for sure.
Now with that, out of all those countries, if you could hook up with anybody from one of those countries, is Karen Fisher more likely to hook up with someone from Ireland, Italy, Greece, or have you, for that matter?
No, I didn't. I mean, I would have liked to, but nothing happened.
I know our buddy in the comments like Brazil, please. Brazil.
Felipe in the comments, he's like, please come to Brazil. Please come to Brazil. Felipe, and it's funny because Felipe, shout out to Felipe, he's joining us on the live feed on YouTube Live. And when we had Sarah J on a couple months back, we were joking. We asked Sarah J about any stalkers she might have had, and Felipe kept on commenting how much he loved her, how much. And I was like, it's got to be Felipe. Felipe's stalker that's stalking Sarah J.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's funny. I have heard though there's a lot of like really handsome men in Brazil, and I do like brunettes. Like I do favor brunette men. Not that I wouldn't like another hair color, but that's just like what I tend to like more.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. So Pedro Felipe may have a chance because he is from Brazil. So I don't know what Pedro Felipe looks like, but he may have maybe a slight chance, but it's a chance.
Yeah, you know, you never know. And also too, like sometimes it's not all about how someone's like the way they look. It's also just like your chemistry with them, their personality. It's a lot of things combined, you know.
And or you know, Felipe may live in a goat shack somewhere in Kansas. But
now, if you were now, let's say you go somewhere and like it's kind of like questionable, but you're talking to a guy at the bar. It's like, hey, let's go back to my place. You're like, all right, come on, let's go. And like he pulls up on a place that literally looks like it could be like a chicken shack or a goat shack, and he's just kind of like, this is my place. It's like at that point, are you just like kind of like, screw it, I've had plenty of drinks, let's do it? Or are you just kind of like, check please, I'm out?
Yeah, that would probably just like be a no-go for me.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine that. Like, you're getting down and like there's a bunch of goats just eating like grass, just sitting there checking out what you're doing. Just,
I don't know. That sounds like a hot scene to me. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I downloaded a scene like that last week.
Oh no.
And
it was really nice because it was in VR, so I got to feed the chickens and everything.
You were petting the goats in VR. That's and Karen, VR is a huge thing in porn now. Have you yourself done any of the VR scenes with those little weird VR cameras? We're always fast.
Yeah, I haven't. I actually heard they're like a pain in the ass to do. So I mean, not to say I wouldn't do one, but it's never been something that I was like, oh shit, sorry, I scrolled.
Oh God.
Something popped up. And anyways, it's never been one of those things that I've really been wanted to do. Like,
actually, we lost your video, so you might need to just.
Oh God, here I am. Sorry.
No, like I heard that camera is weird. Like the camera looks kind of like Johnny 5 from Short Circuit, and like we had Natasha Nice on. I was like, can that VR camera like feel what's going on? Because I mean, it's like you're looking up in that camera, you're just like you're up here on like literally like VR, it's like that, and you're just kind of like, is that camera feeling that moment at that point? And then next thing you know, Johnny 5 VR robot is just stalking you. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it like takes forever. It's like just such a pain in the ass.
I heard it gets in the way a lot. Because I was watching some, videos, and they were like amateur, like homemade type looking videos. It seems like it got more to the way of everything than anything else. And the guy was like, hey, you gotta move your arm.
Yeah.
So,
and I was watching a scene of yours, and it was a scene. You were the stepmom. And it was a younger guy, and I think you were making breakfast or lunch. And the guy just kind of comes up and just starts doing his thing. And I remember at the end of scene, it was the stepson and the stepdad, and they were tossing a football back and forth while they were doing their thing. And I'm just sitting there watching. I'm like, they're throwing a football back and forth. I'm like, like movies like that, are those fun to shoot? Like, wow.
I wish I had a father like that.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was I know exactly which one you're talking about. And I think they are like going for some kind of ignore fetish. I didn't know that was a fetish, but apparently it is. I don't know. I think that was like an okay day. It was, a lot of things happened, like a lot of mishaps that were really like nobody's fault. So it was, I don't know, it was like a weird day.
You get hit with the football, did you?
Yeah, like it was.
I didn't get hit by the football, but with those floors, like I had to be like on the floor cleaning them. They're so fucking uncomfortable. That's the thing that stands out in my head the most, is like having to be on my knees scrubbing the floor. Yeah, and then the rest of it was weird. It was just kind of a weird scene.
Right. You just sit there. Right. You're like, I filmed the scene of me scrubbing the floor 12 times already. Stop it already! Damn it! Can't we just get to the sex? I don't want to scrub the floors anymore.
Right. You're too beautiful to do housework. Just tell them.
Be like, look, okay, look right here. All right, this doesn't do housework.
Just put the cock in my mouth already.
And we're gonna do real quick is, Karen, we do a couple of news articles, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read off the news articles, and we're all gonna react to those news articles, and they're always really twisted, messed up news articles. So our first one is gonna be: naked man went on a rampage armed with a for sale sign as a weapon and kicked a cop in the head. So a naked man went on a drunken rampage with a for sale sign as a weapon. What, like, okay, so I've had a lot of drunken nights. I've done a lot of things drunk, and I've taken a lot of things, but how does one acquire a for sale sign and use it as a weapon? It said Ryan Cunliffe, 24, had taken his trousers off as they became loose around his ankles. threatened paramedics and damaged property and viciously lashed out at an officer. He was found passed out at his nan's door after he kicked and abused police officers. They spell his name differently in this part
Liverpool.
of the article.
It happened. It makes sense. It makes sense.
It said he was given now imagine that. Like you're going around and like you're at the bar, and then all of a sudden this drunk dude shows up naked with a for sale sign. Like at that point, like are you buying into, like, are you just kind of like, oh man, like, oh yeah, this guy's for sale. Like, yeah, we're gonna do this right now. Like, yeah. All right, you know what? Here, I'm pulling all the goods out now because this weird drunk naked guy who's probably gonna pass out on his grandmother's doorstep is for sale right now.
I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't want to get involved, but I would definitely like want to see where things were gonna lead sure.
Yeah, I mean that could be the kind of thing like the dude's just holding the sign and like his dick's just underneath the sign and you're just doing your thing and it's like just the for sale sign. He's just holding it in front of him and it's just the whole that's it. I wonder if he was a realtor. Like that's kind of like a realtor fantasy right there. Like that's something like just kind of like I'm selling the house tonight. Like
yeah, maybe that's what happened. Yeah, that's pretty weird.
I remember from our first episode when we had you on, we talked about you being a realtor at one point, and you should do a scene. And now that's the idea. You do a scene where there's a man next drunk, and he takes his pants. And you're trying to sell him a house, and he goes outside and he takes the for sale sign. And then it just leads into just this uncontrollable sex scene, just this ravenous sex scene with this drunk guy with the for sale sign.
Oh God.
She's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like that sounds like a terrible idea. You guys would suck at doing this. Like no, like that's not gonna happen.
I mean, I think it'd be super funny, but I don't know about like sexy or like anything.
Right, him actually being drunk.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of
that's true.
Yeah,
having sex back in your college days when you're drunk seems like cool, but like in a professional setting, I don't think being drunk would be exceptional.
So here,
I mean, I don't mind being like probably hooking up with drunk people if I'm drunk myself, but you know, like when you're sober and you're around a drunk person, you're like, oh my god,
like, you're
like
so
super annoying.
So you guys gotta both get drunk before the scene.
Yes.
Yeah, then it could work. Then
You
I
both
think
look,
it has
that's a
potential.
beautiful for sale sign over there. That Coldwell Banker sign, that's going to be ours by the end of the night. And of course, Karen, now when you went out and you drank, and of course, nothing that will get you in trouble, but is there anything you've ever sat there and you're like, I need this? Because I don't know how many times I ended up with like a napkin dispenser or just something like I'm just drunk. I'm like, I'm taking this with me when like I've left the bar and like myself, there's so many things that I cannot say what I have done or taken. Like one night we threw a picnic table in a river at the bar and it floated back 3 weeks later and they found the picnic table in the river and took it out and happened to reuse it, unfortunately. But
that's just expensive crap.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So have you ever seen anything wild like that or like while you've been out?
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Yeah. Never. And I don't think I've taken anything when I've been, I mean, at least if I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I've never taken anything when I've been drinking. Yeah.
And this is going to lead us into our next news article, because I've had a couple of long nights, and this one is what's the title of this? This one is after 2 years, 24-hour drinking is back in Seoul. So for many South Koreans, life begins at night. Places in the capital of Seoul are open all night with many. So they have bars open all night long. That's a game changer. Like I think when I was wrestling, if there were bars that were open all night, I would never have came home. Like it says, many bars, clubs, and restaurants welcoming customers until the sun rises, if not all 24 hours of the day. People binge drink sujo or beer, sinking to relieve daytime stress. So there's people.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Day trip.
Yeah, we're going to South Korea. Like that's completely insane. And it says, of course, this all came to a halt due to the pandemic when the South Korean government required establishments to practice social distancing. Well, Monday, South Korea lifted its outdoor mask mandate for the first time since the start of the pandemic. And now people are going out all days of the week, releasing the freedom to drink without worrying about closing time and being kicked out. Now, Matt, I don't know about you.
That sounds like a bad thing for me.
But like what do you think like is your longest binger? Like I feel like I could have went like a 20. There's been many parties. We had a friend where we would go to his house and he would start partying on Thursday night. And then when you would all pass out, he would kick you and say, "Come on, get up. Are you ready to party again?" And it would go from Thursday, Friday to Saturday to Sunday. And I was like, how am I breathing right now? How am I alive? Like, what do you think is like one of the longest nights you think you've ever had?
I mean, I've definitely pulled an all-nighter, many times. I don't know if I went like you mean you wake up in the morning and you immediately start drinking again?
Yeah, like there's a point where
I do that now.
Yeah, where you never sober up. Like you fall asleep drunk, you wake up drunk, and you're like, God. I've had nights like that. We've taken trips to Mexico. I'm not sure if you've ever done an all-inclusive resort, but there's been times where I went to all-inclusive resorts and I was like, I'm drinking and eating my weight. I don't care. And like, I would sit there and from the time I would wake up, the whole entire time I was at the pool, and then when the time I would go to bed, I would just have no idea where I was. I could have been in Mexico, or I could have been getting slaughtered by the Mexican government in a goat house. And I wouldn't have known where I was because of how drunk I was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Karen's like, I will never drink with these guys. This is never going to happen. These guys are insane.
I mean, given the opportunity. Yeah.
So what do you think was one of the longest nights you've had?
Oh, God. I'm going to sound like super boring. I don't know. Like, I don't think I've ever gone. Yes, if I drink like multiple nights in a row, for sure. But like to where I go to bed drunk, I wake up and I'm like start drinking again. I wake up drunk. I don't know. Now maybe I just don't remember because it was like 20 years ago. But I don't think I've ever done that. Yeah, maybe I'm missing out.
I can't do it now. Like the last 10 years or so, I have not drank like that. But when I was young, like you rewind like 15 years ago when I was like 21, 22, 23, 24, that's all it was. Like every single night we were just out drinking.
Really.
In fact, if I had the income that I had now, then I would probably be a vegetable in a hospital bed somewhere.
Oh no.
Someone having me on life support because of how much I would have drank, and my liver would have just been like, "Hey man, this is it. Yeah, no, put the picnic table down and do not rip the toilet out of the floor. Stop it."
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. It was like if given the opportunity.
Yeah.
I probably would do the same shit. Only just because, like, I not really just the being smashed part and all that. Like going to somewhere like what they're doing and going from bar to bar, like the social aspect of it. It sounds really fun.
It's a bar crawl. It's a bar crawl. We've all done like bar crawls where we're bar to bar. But imagine doing a bar crawl like this is in South Korea. And they're open for 24 hours. Imagine doing a bar crawl 24. Imagine going to 24 different bars and spending an hour in each bar for 24 hours. The stories that will come out of something.
I don't know if I get out of the first bar.
And what we're going to do is, Karen, we're going to get into a game segment real quick. And we have a couple of games that we play. And the first one starts off with incoherent. And incoherent, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a series of cards, and they're going to be in drunken lingo. And you need to try to sound the cards out the best you can. There's a couple of hints on the cards that we can give you and see if you can figure out what those cards say. So this is going to be the first one right here. Matt, you mind? It's the one, not that one. It's that one. So that one right there. So we're going to go ahead and share that. And once all this kind of clears out of the way, what do you think this card says?
Okay, so wait, what are we supposed to do again?
Yeah, what I want you to do is I want you to try to figure out what that card says. It's in drunken lingo, so try to sound it out and see if you can figure out what that card says.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, she had big goals. I don't know.
You sure do.
The fun part is say it fast. Say it fast and think if you were saying it with kind of like a drunken slur. Like these are all words that you would probably say when you were drunk, like that. So pretty much one of the hints is a poopy laugh. So a poopy laugh. This is also what that term could be.
A poopy laugh? Or
yes,
am I hearing you right?
Yes.
I don't know like what a poopy laugh is. Shedhand giggles.
You got the last part, which is giggles. So you got giggles. Yes. So that you still have the first part. It also says a more fun way of saying just for fun. So we're gonna do this just for fun, but we're gonna do this and giggle for this and giggles.
Oh, shits and giggles.
Yeah, it's shits and giggles.
Poopy laugh. What the fuck?
And well, the hint is on the card. That's what the card says. The card says poopy laugh. I don't
know. I've never heard that term before.
I'll be honest, like our viewers know that I smoke weed, so I've been trying to keep it together.
Matt's tweaking right now.
But when you said poopy giggles, like or poopy laughs, I just lost my shit.
Matt was like, "Yeah, I can't. The marijuana in my system cannot handle this." All right, so here's what do you think this card says? And if it shows stuff on the screen, it'll go full screen in 1 second. What do you think that says?
2 week notice. 2 week notice?
Yes, it's 2 week notice. And some of the hints we're calling it quit and the professional version of moving on. All right, cool.
See, if you were drunk, I'm telling you, you'd be very good at it.
And what we did is, of course, everybody watching at home, make sure you check out the HH Pod Rumble. It was our 100th episode celebration. We had all of our guests come on and we played this game in a WWE Royal Rumble elimination type. That we had with 30 former guests. And adult film star Johnny Goodluck won it. So we're actually sending him a championship belt as his reward for winning the HH Pod Rumble. Make sure you go over hhpod.com, find that episode. It was a ton of fun, 30 former guests. And we're going to get into one more for Incoherent. And then we're going to get into Cards Against Humanity after that. So the next one, let me just go ahead and get rid of that one. And then we're going to go ahead and pull this one up one here. What do you think this card says? And like when I saw this earlier myself before I flipped it over, I kind of figured out what it was almost instantly. What do you think that says?
Okay, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift.
Yes. And the hints.
It actually, if you read it out, it helps. It's a lot easier to figure out for sure. Yeah, Taylor Swift.
And the hints were cat lady and getting in and out of relationships just for songwriting inspirations.
It's worked so far.
Yes, it has. So. And now what we're going to do is, of course, when we had you on really early on, we played Cards Against Humanity. We play it in a different way now. It's actually called Cards Against Humanity Roulette. So what we're going to do is we're going to read you off the subject card. And then in a roulette type style, you're going to have the option between 1 through 6 to try to choose a good option of answering that card randomly. So what we're going to do, the first one. So let's see the first one here. Let me grab this one right here, Matt.
Go ahead.
The first one says, "Help me, doctor. I've got blank in my butt."
Big old dick.
So now for the roulette portion of it, number 1 through 6. What do you want to choose as your lucky number to try to answer that card?
How about lucky number 3?
3. All right.
What?
So number 3, and if you don't like this card, you get 1 rebuttal to choose another one. So it says, "Help me, doctor. I've got a little sewer girl strangling a pigeon. stuck in my butt. do you like that card, or do you want to choose another one?
Reread it again.
It says, "Help me, doctor. I've got a little sewer girl strangling a pigeon in my butt."
Oh yeah, I'll just go with that one. Why not?
Go with that one. All right.
Oh.
So some of the options you could have had that you could have chose were my son's husband's huge cock, sewing 2 hamsters together to make a double hamster supreme, the small styrofoam ball that we all jack off into, a smiling black man, a Latina businesswoman, a cool Asian, and some whites.
I mean,
I think there were some better answers there. Yeah.
And then my real dad.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we're gonna do another round. So actually, Karen, here's what we'll do: is with this card before we go into the next round. If you could answer that yourself, so you're gonna answer this card now yourself. So I'll read it off again. Help me, doctor. I've got blank in my butt. What would you fill that blank in with yourself?
Like if I were to be like making something up.
Yeah, like if you were to ad lib the card, if you were to make up your own answer on the fly, what would you say for that?
I don't know. I don't think I can top any of those.
Any of those answers?
No, how can you top like 2 hamsters sewn together to make like a mega? I mean, I'm not that creative.
Yeah.
If I were to.
My favorite one was the smiling black man, a Latina businesswoman, a cool Asian, and some whites. That was my favorite because that's a good time right there.
And you
like,
might.
That is a good time.
It's a good time, and you might actually need a doctor afterwards to tell you.
I think
what's right.
You probably would.
What's going on here?
And then we're gonna do another round. So round 2. Matt, you want to read that one off, buddy?
Yeah, give me one second.
And
Okay.
Can you give me the other beer real quick too?
Oh yes, absolutely, sir. Here you are.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So round 2, black card is: in this paper, I will explore blank from a feminist perspective.
So same thing, 1 through 6. What do you think is the lucky number?
I'm gonna go with, how about like I'll take number 6.
Number 6.
That's the last one, I'm sure.
All right.
Well, it is Pride Month. In this paper, I will explore the gaze from a feminist perspective.
All right. So are you satisfied with that, or do you want to rebuttal and choose a different card?
No.
You like that?
Yeah,
one?
that one was like kind of lame.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
no, that
It
one
is
was
Pride Month, though. I mean, it works.
All right. So number 6 is out. So now number 1 through 5. What do you think?
How about number 1?
Number 1. Okay.
See what works. Okay. In this paper, I will explore sharks with legs from a feminist perspective.
Oh my God.
And then some of the other options you could have chose were getting herpes from Bruce Willis, a whole new kind of porn, firing a rifle into the air while balls deep in a squealing hog, and
That's
just simply oral. So, Karen, thank you for taking part in our Ode to Humanity segment. And what we're going to do real quick, we're going to shout out our featured beer this week, which, of course, we talked about this a little bit before we went live, which is Chime. Chime, it is Chime Grand Reserve, authentic Trappist product. Of course, we got into the whole thing before the episode kicked off and how monks were involved and, you know, all this like crazy stuff, how this has been. It was created in 1862, and we're convinced that it's been fermenting since 1862. And I also paid $27 for 4 of these. 4.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yes.
So it better have authentic pieces of monk inside this bottle for paying $24 for
I'll tell
these.
you, it's got something.
Yeah. And of course, what we're going to do real quick, and then we'll get right back into the thick of things, is of course, we're going to do our featured shot, which is starting to wear down a little bit, which is 10 High Sour Mash whiskey. Yes. And this is starting to wear down. And of course, we will have a new featured shot coming up soon. So, Matt, I figured I'd give you the little teeny tiny, micro pig penis of the shot glasses or whatever. So there you go. So that one will be yours. And also I ran out of the big ones. So yeah, like I like mine. I like mine big.
I like mine short and stubby.
So there we go. There's that. Shout out to 10 High and 10 High Sour Mash Whiskey. Oh man. Oh. So Karen, when you take shots, what's your worst shot? Like if someone came up to you with a shot and they were like, "Here, take this," what would you be like? Fuck ass no to if they went to?
Oh God, Jägermeister.
Oh my God!
No, and I'd say
that's like the best. That's like
no.
No.
I would say the same thing. Back in my early 20s, yes, Jägermeister. It was Jaeger bomb all the way. But I'm telling you, like after that, like I hated Jaeger so much
because you drank so much.
It really like if you drink so much, it's really so thick and heavy that it's a big mistake by the end of the night.
Yeah,
definitely.
And actually, our live feed is kind of popping off a little bit, and Felipe, of course, the Night Stalker. He's commented a lot, and this is how he got the name the Night Stalker when we, had Taylor Swift on. He was like, ask how it is to work for Sarah J, or I guess maybe work with Sarah J. He kind of typed it a little bit weird. So working with Sarah J, how is that for you? Of course, asked by Pedro Felipe.
It's good. I mean,
which scene? Right?
Yeah. Well,
elaborate, because she's also she's directed things that I've been in. I've worked with her as talent, but yeah, she's like cool to work with. She's, I don't know.
Yeah, and he said after that, Wide Side Productions can come and make a movie in Carnival. So I guess Carnival. So I guess Carnival is a part of Brazil. So I'm guessing that that's his play to lure Sarah J and Karen Fisher into Carnival, and he's gonna unzip a big like circus tent, and he's gonna be like, "Welcome to the carnival, ladies."
I mean, they have a really good time down there at Carnival. Yeah. Like from what I've seen, it's like. Florida has their parades and shit. I mean, everybody has parades, but I know
when I think of Florida, I think of Florida Man. That's the most infamous thing in Florida. Not Disney, not anything. It's Florida Man.
Well, of course, right. I'm not surprised, but no, Florida has some really good they got some wild parades up there. But I know Carnival itself does have a lot of wild parties and carnival they're holding like a parade.
Now
it's really awesome. I'm saying you should go if you get the chance.
Speaking of that, what's like out of all the places you've been to, what do you think is the most kind of wildest place you've seen? Like for example, me and my wife, we went to Salem, Massachusetts for Halloween, and my mind was blown. Just that town, and we've talked about this before. That town was insane on Halloween, and this was Halloween last year, so this is as everything was coming off of COVID, and we were in the center of Salem, and I had never seen so many people in one area in my life. Like it was literally dicks to asses the whole time. Everybody dressed up, having a good time, witches everywhere. And we ended up running into a drag bar, and it was awesome. Yeah. We went in, I don't know if you've ever seen a drag show, but it was awesome. And the bathrooms, they didn't have men's room or women's room. It just said whatever on the door.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking cool. We had a great. So have you ever seen anything just kind of blew your mind away like that while you've been on your travels?
I mean, I've been a lot of crowded places where people get super rowdy, like Mardi Gras and New Orleans is like that. But that was almost obnoxious because people are vomiting the street because they're so drunk.
Yeah,
you literally cannot carry a purse because you're smashed together. People are grabbing you as you try and squish through the crowd, but you don't know who just grabbed your pussy because
the drunk guy just said no. He's like titty.
Right. What I was about to say, I bet those boobs give a nice safety net. Though.
Yeah. They they deflect bubble. Anybody out of the way.
I mean, there's just like no room, so they're just getting like smashed. You know what I mean?
Here's what it is. You ever see like in an airplane, like they have like those life preservers and you pull like the little thing and they inflate like that. Like when people get too close, Karen just has something and she pulls it and her boobs just and people just go flying. It's just kind of like, all right, too close. Everybody's just kind of flying out of the way. And that's
I wish I had that. Sometimes I use it.
She's like that's my superhero power. Like, God damn it. If I ever get blessed with a superhero power, it will be that. And of course, so what all do you have coming up? Of course, there's a lot of things going on. Of course, you're doing a lot of traveling, and you have any new scenes coming out or any new scenes coming up, or
all my new scenes like already just came out. I did a scene from Naughty America that's out. I did a scene for pogged.com that just literally came out today, I think. And then I did a scene from My Pervy Family that came out a few weeks ago. And then I did, or maybe like last week, just recently. And then I did one for Touch My Wife. And that came like last month.
Wait, for Touch My Wife. Now it's the kind of thing that I now have programmed in the Google machine in my mind that it's instantly burned in there. Look up Touch My Wife XXX into Google because now I need to see, because I've seen a lot of the My Pervy Family videos. And are crazy. I
guess that's what's in now, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is very.
I don't know why the spike has gone up, but like
everybody was locked up in the house for the pandemic, so no
all
one
of a
could
sudden
go
you
anywhere.
want to fuck your mom.
So someone's just sitting there. They're like, "Oh, all right, mom, you come here."
And like the what's the newer ones? The stepsis, right?
Yes,
they get stuck in something. It's like,
you're stuck. Have you done any stuck videos where you're like you get your hand stuck in something and you're just like, oh no, I'm stuck, and it's like, don't worry, I'll get you out of here. But what
I never have. That sounds really weird. Like, why is that a turn on? But no, I've never done anything or heard of anything like that.
Really?
Those are really some kind of fetish. No, I have no idea.
Oh yeah,
those are really big right now.
Yeah, those are big. Like I've seen videos. Mom gets stuck under the bed. Mom gets stuck in the dryer. Mom gets hands stuck in garbage disposal. And it's just like, don't worry, Mom. I'll get you out of the garbage disposal. And it's like, so you're fucking her out of the garbage disposal. Like, where does this go from here? Like,
I don't know. Like, well, right. You've been in the industry for a long time, and you've seen how it has changed and stuff like that. But now, what I'm seeing, like exactly what we're bringing up, it's like these moms or these stepsisters or whatever get stuck in this window.
Yeah,
it's like, lift the window up.
Yeah, just open the window. And the bad part is the window is all the way open and it doesn't have a screen and they're stuck. And it's just kind of like, stuck.
And the guy comes up like, you need help, ma'am. Just does her trousers, starts getting it. Then the other guy comes from around the front. Oh, you're stuck. Let me help.
That would never happen to Karen because she has that superpower. So if she got stuck, she could just boom and then boom, just
true. Yeah. But also I have some common sense to where if I could like open the fucking window, I would just open the fucking window.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, it's porn, so logic doesn't always apply.
Yeah. Logic is very skewed. There's a very skewed logic.
Well, it seems like I could open the window, or I am really horny.
Yes. I could help Mom, or I could fuck Mom. That's right. I think I'm gonna make things weird for life. That's what I'm going to choose.
Look, they're not really their moms. It's just a genre.
And
that's true.
What's wrong with America right now?
And Pedro Felipe the Night Stalker is losing his mind. He's like, yes, moms are the better. And he said moms and MILFs. So I think he's violently masturbating right now. And then he said, my dream when I was young was to be a football player, which kind of, I feel like that relates back to the beginning of the episode.
Felipe is getting very personal
yes,
right now.
When we were talking about the scene where the guys were tossing footballs back and forth, he said when he was young, he wanted to be a football player. So he's imagining himself wearing goat skin, being a football player. Well, he's in that scene, and Felipe is a sport. He tunes in for a lot of our episodes. Felipe, thank you for tuning in. You tune in every week. We always fuck with you. Thank you for being such a good sport. We always, give Felipe a hard time, but he's became somewhat of a little mascot for the show, which we appreciate. And he's coming from Brazil. I mean, fuck,
he
coming
stayed
live
up all
from
night
Brazil.
He heard you were coming on the show again, and he was like, I got to be there.
Oh, so. Yeah. Felipe was like, I need to map out how I can get Karen in Brazil because, my little goat shack right here, we're going to go in there. We're going to do some things. It's going to happen. Yeah. and
travel safe.
Yeah.
Travel safe.
And what do you think? Of course, you do a lot of conventions. What do you think your weirdest convention interaction has been? Because you meet a lot of people. Have you had any weird convention interactions?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about this one guy that I hate. Okay, he comes up and he's like, I don't know, I'm just like chatting with him, and we live in the same city. Okay, and I make the mistake of telling him, or maybe he already knew. I don't know. We live in the same town, and he's like, give me your phone number. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to give you my fucking number. But I just wrote like my email address down, right? And then he's like, no, your phone number. And then I'm trying to, I don't know. So I just give him like a fake number, right? Because I'm not going to give him my real number, and I just want him to go away. Really, I just want him to go away. And then so like the next year, this was at AV, and the next year I see him, and he confronts me about giving him a fake phone number, and he tells me that I got fat.
What? How dare you give me a fake number? And you, God damn it, you gave it to me in origami. Like that's what you should do. You should learn. Can you do origami? If not, you should learn origami and give him your number and like an origami like goose looking thing. Look up origami. Like you fold like paper into like different shapes, and like you should give him an origami version of your number. Like it's just folded up, and he has to unfold this intricate goose.
Then he gets the privilege of possibly fucking.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
No.
Because what's going to happen before he gets that privilege, Felipe is going to kill him with an ice pick. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I still see that like whenever we haven't had avian for a few years, but I still see him, and I like won't talk to him. So, anyways, fuck that guy.
And
so that was
We're starting to run a little bit short on time. We have about 10 minutes left. Are you good to hang out another 10 minutes or so?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And we'll let you get out here after that. Now, with the convention stuff, of course, you sign a lot of things. Has anybody ever brought anything completely out of this world for you to sign for that?
No one has.
Like the first tube sock that I jerked off.
Yeah. A guy just this is the sock that I've been beating my dick in for the last 30 years. Can you sign this for me? Like, just watch out for these spots right over here. They mean a lot. They're the ones that I left when I was watching your stuff. Just sign the sock over here. Just that's it.
No, that's never happened. Thank God.
I feel like when we asked her, she was just kind of like,
Stop giving these guys ideas, by the way.
Like someone brings a toaster and they're just like, Karen Fisher, can you just sign this? Can you please kiss the toaster and leave like lipstick on the toaster? And then can you just sign my toaster? And I'll drop pizza rolls in this thing every single night and think about you when I make them. And it's just like, what? Oh, all right, whatever. Fuck it. You paid. I don't care. Like,
Yeah, no, that's never happened. Like, obviously they want you to sign like 8x10s, or sometimes they'll bring their own 8x10s, or like I've seen a guy have a t-shirt. I mean, that's about as wild as it's gotten with as far as that goes.
Yeah. So, and of course, Pedro Felipe, he's going nuts. He's going wild. He's a madman in the live feed. He asked, and I kind of don't know the answer to this question, but he asked, what's the difference between moms and MILFs? Well, one is a MILF and one is a mother.
I knew the answer. Yes. I'll let Karen answer that.
Yes. If Pedro met you at a convention and he's like, Karen, nice to meet you. What's the difference between moms and the MILFs? What would you say?
Well, okay. So a mom is, everybody knows what a mom is, right? Somebody who has a child. So, but a MILF is like a mom that you want to fuck, right? Yeah. So not every mom, depending on the guy, is a MILF.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And also like in porn, obviously women who don't have kids have that term. I think it's in porn, like anyone over the age of like 28 or even starting at 28 is like a MILF.
MILFs / stepmothers / incest movies get younger and younger. Like you have a chick who's like 23 who's screwing her father, and it's just or like she's screwing her son. She's screwing her son, and you're just kind of like, you're 23. I don't understand how this happens, and they fall under a MILF category.
You look like, 23, but you could,
So I'm thinking like when he asked that question, the first thing that popped through my fucked up, corroded, concussion-filled pro wrestling mind is that a MILF is obviously a mom that I like to fuck. And then a mom is someone who gets stuck in the dryer, and you're just like, hey, all right, it's time to do the laundry tonight. Yeah,
it's your turn to wash the dishes tonight, baby.
He clears all the Mom, do the fucking dishes. Well, you're just gonna fuck while you're doing the dishes, Mom. The meatloaf, Mom.
And then it turns into some weird fest where I'm smashing the plates over her head.
No,
we're making out.
Now it's going a little far. This is almost as bad as the for sale sign guy. Like it's starting to take that route.
Well, everybody's got their thing.
Yes, okay? Yes. What do you think is the weirdest fetish you've ever seen or you've ever heard of? Like, has anybody asked you to do like any kind of fetish video? You're just kind of like, no, I'm not about that. Like, no, peace out, Girl Scout. That's not me.
Oh God, I really don't like that stuck fetish that you're talking about. But I would say the worst, like it's kind of even gross to freak out. Like when people ask about like, pooping, I'm like, no, for like no amount of money.
No amount of money. Yes.
Yeah, yes. Poop sex.
Yeah.
That shit.
Yeah.
There's a market for it, but not my thing. It's a little poopy. I don't know.
And we've been pretty down. Like we've been to the anglerfish levels of the deepest, darkest parts of porn. That poop is kind of like where we draw the line. Like I was telling you about the video that I saw of the girl who was stuck in the concrete, and the mom made the dad fuck her stuck in the concrete, and that's still better than poop play.
I've got to. What is consistent with poop play? Because Karen, I don't know, but I've seen a lot of your content. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I know you've had your hand, or not hand, like your foot, like ankle deep in a man's ass.
No. Oh no, that was not me.
That was not
I was the one watching that.
Okay.
He's like, you're in it. He's like,
so that's awesome that she's like, totally no. I was there.
She's like, that is not me. I will not do that. Yeah. So
all the scenes that you've done, you remember? Nope, that wasn't me, motherfucker.
You're
not gonna put that shit on my ankle.
I didn't even know that a foot could like fit there. So I was like,
I jerked off anyway. Right, but I was like, oh my God,
like at no point,
like it's ankle deep.
At no point have I ever woke up and thought to myself, I want an entire foot in my ass. Like that, I feel like this foot should be like
look
in an
right.
ass.
I don't mean to cut you off and stop you there, but no, Karen as a performer, she knows what it's like. She's the one getting fucked. So she doesn't know. Like, well, I'm not saying you don't know, because you know your audience, right? But after the fact, like when we're cleaning up our mess and their tube socks or whatever we just got done watching or whatever,
when Felipe's cleaning up his murder scene,
and we're seeing that this guy is ankle deep, like this. Someone's got their ankle, and they're straight up in this guy's ass, and we're cleaning up this mess. And what have we done?
Yeah,
what have we done?
What is the mood when the set? After that's happened, like is it just like do you just like eat like pizza after that, and you're just kind of like or are you just kind of sitting there like what just transpired?
That's exactly how I felt. I felt like low-key traumatized. Like what did I just see?
Yeah.
That's
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
I'm so glad it helps me because I'm like at least someone was there with me.
Someone experienced this trauma with me. Like that's the thing. It's the kind of thing that's like a VR scene. Like imagine a VR footing. Like someone's like ankle deep in an ass in VR, and you look over to your side, and you just see Karen Fisher in VR, just mortified.
Well, I'm gonna focus more on Karen.
Yeah,
but it's like, traumatized. Speaks.
Yeah, like that's like, eye contact. Like we're both traumatized together. And also I forgot, of course, Chai Mei is 9% alcohol by volume, and I forgot about that, and it's kind of taking its course, for to say.
What I would say during that scene, like, you know what, he can have like whatever he wants in his ass, but me and Karen are going to go to
we're gonna,
I have no judgment on that. It just like I'm judging him liking that. It was just like, I don't know, maybe more than I was ready for.
No, you're 100% true, because that's how I am. Like it's like whatever your thing is, that's your thing, dude. But
that's
me and Karen gonna go in the other room.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think even the girl doing it, because I saw her like a few days later and she was like, what the fuck? So even she was like what?
But everyone, we got right. Well, I'm not in the industry, but you got to get your paychecks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Guy wants a fucking
really
foot in his ass. I'm giving a foot in his ass.
And what we're gonna do is, of course, we're running out of time. Karen, thank you for coming on the show. It's been 2 years since we've had you on.
Thank you.
We're on a bunch. We're almost at 150,000 total, views on YouTube. Honestly, thank you, because your first episode has performed so well 2 years ago when you're on our YouTube. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And when Erica contacted us, was like, would you love to have Karen back on? We were like, yes. Karen was awesome the first time. We would love to have her on a second time. And anytime you want to come on, just let us know. We appreciate it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap up our YouTube Live episode. We're going to wrap that, and we'll be back here next week right here on YouTube Live, 7 p.m. Eastern. And our featured guest is Kim Greer. Kim Greer is an author. We're going to be talking to her about her book. She's probably going to leave this show traumatized as if Karen did when she watched that foot scene. So, that's the thing. A lot of times, I always hope that people watch our show before they actually come onto it, so they know exactly what to expect. But what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And Karen, would you be able to hang out for 1 second afterwards?
Sure.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're going to be right here on YouTube Live. Felipe, thank you very much for joining us live in a live feed from Brazil. Try not to kill anybody, because we all know that you're the Night Stalker from Brazil. So, but no, honestly, for Karen, for myself, for Matt, and for Felipe and Erica Icon, who is joining us live in feed as well. This has been the Happy Hour podcast. We will see you guys next time.
Yay. Bye.